Yes, and we are live. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a conscious body movement hangout. Get some bliss in your embodiment. How does it get better than that? We're so thrilled that you're on. I'm here with Greg Dyer, my conscious body movement buddy. Say hi, Greg. He's
How are
taking
you
a
guys all doing today and tonight, wherever you're at? Let's find some bliss
awesome.
today. What do you think?
Yeah, how about some bliss? How about some bliss? And we were asking you guys questions about, what is bliss for you? Because what we can realize is that a lot of people don't even really know what that sense of bliss is or could be, because it's like how much bliss is actually presented to us in this reality. And if you don't really have a sense of what that is and what that could be for you, could you create more? So what if we were to get some more clarity around what is blissful embodiment for you, and how could you actually start creating from that energy, including your whole life, your relationships, your work, your friendships, the things you do in life that all have to do with being embodied in this reality. And you have anything to feed in there yet, Greg?
What I just got hit with this is this interesting concept of how we don't necessarily always feel like we're worthy of bliss in every moment. It's almost like we've got to pay for the bliss. We've got to pay for the trip to wherever we're going to. We got to put in our dues before we can have fun in our lives. And that if we're just having fun with everything we do, that's impossible to do because then we're not paying our dues to get to that point. So it's almost like we should, like short circuit ourselves with, the line to bliss right away by saying, well, I can't have bliss until I do this. I can't do this. I got to do this, and then this happens. And it's like, well, what would it be like to have bliss and embodiment no matter what you choose to do, no matter whether or not you're out, earning money, or you're mowing the lawn, or you're on a beach somewhere in the middle of the South Pacific? What would it be like to have bliss and embodiment, and regardless of what it is that you're choosing to do? And that's, kind of what, the whole concept of, helping people find bliss and embodiment was. I mean, when you and I, first came up with the idea of exploring this, this is what was in my mind. It was like, well, what would it be like for me to have bliss no matter what I was choosing to do?
Yeah.
Whether I was writing bills or, whatever, because I asked this question before. I'm like, if it isn't fun, then why are we doing it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, what if life were to be more fun? And but Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, had a brilliant quote about bliss, as the place where you have no judgment and you have a willingness to create anything and beyond anything you could ever imagine. It's like, do you guys kind of perceive that sense of space, that possibility? And how does that make your body feel when I say that? When you have no judgment whatsoever of you, of no one around you, of nothing around you, and you have a willingness to create anything and beyond anything that you could ever imagine. So what's possible with that energy? And why do I talk about energy? Like, for me, energy is like one of the most pragmatic things to create from. It is how people define whatever they feel, think, or emote, right? It's like these things that course through your body, and the thoughts you think have a certain energy as well. Have you ever noticed that when you use certain words, they feel different, right? So if you were to consciously create with the words you use, and maybe change a couple of words here and there, what more of a sense of bliss could you tap into for you and your body? And guess what? Through you, with every life you touch, with every body you touch or reach out to. Because what do people do, we're all psychic beings, right? We pick up each other's, thoughts, feelings, and emotions all the time. And what if you could create a bigger sense, a greater sense of ease and peace and bliss with embodiment, with living your life? What can you create around you to actually have a greater life? And there are a couple of questions that people had where we're going to dive into. Thank you so much, by the way, for your questions and for your responses. We would love to have as much interaction beforehand as possible, because it kind of builds the energy of what we're creating here. Because the thing is as well, it's like, what can we contribute to you and your embodiment? That's why we're asking questions, because if you ask a question, it always opens up to another possibility where a conclusion or an answer or a judgment would stop the energy, the flow, instantaneously. Dead. That's it. If you have a judgment in the way, whether it's positive or negative, that is what you're going to create, right? So this is not going to be like a hardcore, face your judgments thing. That's not what we're doing here. Like, how can we break through that into a space that has more bliss? Anything on your end, Greg?
Well, I was thinking about, what kind of contribution can you and I be for everybody else that's watching this or listening to this? Well, think about it from the other standpoint. What kind of contribution can they be to this conversation? By asking that question, what is your awareness? What's coming for you? When as we're talking about this, when we first brought up the idea of bliss and embodiment, what does that mean for you? If there's something that Merlijn or I say today that brings up something that's really great, please share this with us so that we can see where this goes.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking about is this whole idea of intention. When you were talking about the energy and the words that we choose to do and the thoughts and stuff like that. And of course, it occurred to me that I was like, all the different languages around the world, the different we present thoughts with with different language. To me, it feels like that the intention behind the word is where that energy lies, and what is the purpose for that when you say that? Because it's interesting, because when we talk about access consciousness, and there's this funny little kind of hang up on the meaning of words that I find interesting. And for a while it kind of stopped me, and there were words that I really questioned when I was using them. Things like want and whatnot, and I was like, well, is it really the word, or is it the intention behind the word? What's the energy behind that, using that word?
Yeah.
I really am not sure that the universe really hears the word necessarily as just the energy, the intention of it, and more than that. So,
yeah.
So where are you seeing yourself with that? I mean, with the intentions. Because you could be sitting there saying, somebody asks you, hey, how do you feel today? Oh, I feel great. But what do you really feel back behind there? I mean, do you really feel great, or are you feeling like total crap? I mean, what's going to show up for you? Things to support the idea that you feel like crap, the intention of that, to continue that, or the great thing. Or I mean, it's like, well, where's that underlying thought? Where's that programming going on? And maybe that's one of the things we can get into today too. Is that because we've talked about this before, I'm sure a couple of times now. I think about what's the unconscious loop that's running around in our head that we don't even we're not even cognitive of it anymore, because it's just automatic. We're going about our day and doing our things, and meanwhile in the background we're running that loop of I'm fat, I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, I don't have any money, or whatever it is, and it's like, well, what's that broadcast doing for you? And is there bliss in that?
Yeah, and how could you create? What? We're having a bit of a delay on the line. There is so
I
much
know.
energy on the line. It's kind of crazy. You
You're
know,
like,
right before we went into this hangout, like my body was like vibrating. And earlier today as well, every time that I put a post out on the social media or, you know, even through my newsletter, like there was this energy, and it was like, wow, there's a lot of energy on this call and on this topic maybe even, and you know, for everyone who is checking in now as well, because that's kind of how energy works. You perceive it instantaneously, even though it's on the other side of the planet, in another universe, or in someone right next to you. It is so fast, and you know, if things build up, you might be aware. So it's as well, you know, talking about awareness. You know, if we would, this might sound funny to you, but if you would just kind of like energetically reach out, like all over the globe, and kind of tap into all the energies of bliss. Might sound funny, but just, you know, don't think about it. Just do it.
no,
Expand out.
I was kind of giggling because the snap, crackle, and popping that's going on now as you were saying that. I was just
Oh,
going, zzz.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is how it works. Expand out and tap into all the people that are choosing bliss, all the energies that can contribute blissfulness to you and to your body. Yeah. And can you kind of perceive how that changes and how that might, you know, and if you don't notice anything, that's cool too. Um, just wander around in that energy for a second, and what would it be like if you would have more of that? Because if our bodies interact with each other, you know, it's like as I
They
speak.
do.
Yeah, do we do
They
we
do,
do,
really.
do our bodies interact with each other? I'm sure none of the people that are watching have ever picked up anything of anybody that's around them, you know, like all of a sudden you have that headache, or all of a sudden you have that backache. There's like, where did that come from? So what if our bodies and our beings actually talk to each other? You know, whether that is on molecular level or energetic and psychological. So what I just did basically with that little expansion exercise, just expanding out energetically, make yourself as big as the universe, and just kind of tap into everything that's blissful. Like tap into nature. You know, that's basically using your awareness as a tool to create more, to be more of the energy that you would like to have in your life, if you're liking a more blissful life, of course. Yeah. So, well, let me see. Where shall we go from here, Greg? And oh, did I just get out? Am I still here?
I don't know. Are you out?
I'm
I
still
think
here.
you are.
I'm still here.
Yes,
Cool.
you
Cool. Nice.
are.
So, by the way,
No,
if you
I was
guys
looking back over. I wanted to see the questions.
yeah, absolutely. If you guys have any questions like that are coming up right now, if you're on a Google Plus account watching, you can hover over with your cursor to the kind of the left side of the screen, and there is like a window that shifts out that has a little chat box. So you can just basically click on that, and then a chat box will open, and you can put in your questions. And otherwise, if you're watching on YouTube, you know, just feel free to post your questions under that questions graphic, or wherever in the event page on Facebook, so we can get back to that. Okay.
Cool.
So, do you wanna start?
Well, you sent me a couple. Are those two different questions, or is that the same
No,
person?
no, it's two different questions. The first one
Oh,
is, and this might be interesting for a lot of you guys out there.
okay.
Alex asks, I've been interested in picking up weightlifting training, but it doesn't ever happen. Is there a process for motivation? What can you say to that, Greg?
It, well, everything. I mean, it's a choice that you're going to make to do. Some of the tricks that we've always used, those of us that that do choose to go to the gym and lift, or if you choose to do any activity, you can do this with any activity that you would like. It's not a bad idea to pick up a partner. Find somebody else that wants to do it with you, and you just get time, and it's like an accountability thing that'll kind of help the motivation rolling, no matter what it is that you choose to do, whether it is go to the gym, or if you're going to go out and ride bikes or swim or run or whatever, play tennis. I mean, it just seems to be having another person involved in it helps with that motivation, the accountability of doing it if that's what you're looking for. And the other thing is in my experience, there's always been more bliss involved in sharing that experience with somebody else. So hopefully that helped.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, what if you were to, ask yourself some questions about that? Like, questions are always a great tool to empower yourself into something bigger, something greater, something that's actually more fun and blissful. Like, a couple of questions you could ask is like, where would I like to work out? Because you might, you have chosen to go to a particular place that could work for the workout you would like to do, but your body doesn't really like to be there. Kind of like our bodies kind of have preferences. Is like one gym or one specific place to work out might be more generative and creative for you than the other places. Yeah, that's kind of the energy of the place that might or might not contribute to you and to your body. So ask your body, what if you were to be willing, what if you were to be willing to ask your body, actually? Because your body's the one working out, right? Not your psyche. So body, where would you like to work out? And if it might sound funny at first, and what if you were to live in communion with your body and kind of be willing to receive the information that it gives you? Because it might pull you a certain corner on the street and make you bump into another place where you could work out, or lift weights or whatever you would like. Or it might mean anything that expands, anything that makes you feel lighter is probably something that's going to have a more generative and blissful contribution to your body. And everything that makes you go like kind of heavy and kind of squinch everything or contract the energy is something that you either have a judgment about, so just what's the judgment? Get rid of it, and or it's something that's just not working for your body. And yeah, some other questions could be as well. It's like, how can I motivate myself today? Who can I call? Is there anything I can do or be different to be inspired? And then what if you were to stay out of looking for answers and just kind of live with that energy that you consciously invoke by asking a question? Yeah? Cool.
Alex.
Well, Alex, if you have anything more on that, just, put it somewhere. Maybe he sent me a text somewhere. Oh no, it's someone else. How's it get better than that?
Alex, and anybody else, there's another question to ask about this, and this is the one that's come up, at least for me when I've been dealing with my clients over the years. Is do you really want to go to the gym and work out? Is that where you and your body really would like to be? Is that blissful for you? Or are you choosing that because that's what society says is the best way to do this? You can ask that question and see what comes to you. And the other thing that I really, really like, and this one's, I use for myself all the time, when I get up in the morning, body, what would you like to do today? And, and tap into that and see what that feels like. Because it might be one of those things where, one day, well, the gym sounds like a great idea. It feels light and blissful and fun, and you go and do that. And the next day, it's like, I don't want to go to the gym, but my body wants to move. What does it want to do? And, and what if you were to follow that? Would you find more bliss in what you were doing than if you just put together some schedule that some late night TV fitness guru put together for you, and you followed that, Insanity or PX90 or whatever it is that the program that you bought in. Yeah, those things work, but if it's not your thing, then what are you doing it? Why?
Yeah.
It's just going to add to the frustration that you have. It's going to add to the judgments that you have, because you're going to begin to ask, well, why can't I do this? Why is this so hard for me to do? I must suck. Everybody else can do this. They're losing weight, and I can't do it. Well, what if that's not your thing? Well, what if you just tapped into it and asked those questions like what Merlijn was saying, and just tap into what is it that your body would like to do? I mean, it's funny, we never stop to ask the primary life partner that we have here questions about what it is that we would like to do. We always look outside. We look to some, fitness professional or some other guru or, some, actor or actress or whatever, like, well, what do they do? Well, I should do that because it worked for them, or because that person told me that's the best thing to do, or my doctor, or whoever. I mean, it's like, well, why are you just skipping past your primary life partner? What if bliss and embodiment is that connection, that communion that you have with your body, to be able to converse back and forth in any given moment and feel the awarenesses back and forth of what's going on? What would that feel like? What kind of contribution, would that be to your world? Is losing the connection to our bodies, is that what's bringing about that almost disembodiment?
Yeah. Is body friend or foe? What if your body...
I get that all the time. People get so angry at it. It's like, my body's just totally betraying me and putting on all this fat. No, it's actually telling you something.
What if your
My
body
body's
is like...
betraying me.
You go for it. You were still rolling.
I said, well, what if your body's, it's not betraying you by getting cancer or diabetes or high blood pressure. It's telling you something, and it's been like really kind of quietly telling you all along. Little whispers here and there, and we're not hearing it. So then it's got to scream, because that's the only way that it knows how to get a hold of you now. It's like, hey, we got to do something different here, please. So
yeah.
What would it take to tap into that and hear those whispers instead,
Yeah. And what would it be like to be aware of the whispers? This might sound really airy-fairy, but what if it's not? What if you are so aware of anything, but you've just not really been shown how to interpret that? Because like, how heavy and dense is this reality? And what if you, as a being, are way lighter in essence? Like, and that's what I kind of like tapped into earlier as well. Like, what if everything that makes you light is actually true for you, and everything that makes you heavy actually is not? So what if you were to kind of like look for and create the lightness in your life with anything you do? Like, if we would kind of like briefly go back to the process for motivation here, is like, if you would like to move, and if your body would like to move, you could ask, okay, what are the possibilities here for me to get moving, for me to get going with something? What could I do physically? What action could I take? It could be a walk. It could be riding a bike. It could be dancing. It could be going out for dancing and drinks. It could be taking a hike. It could be working out and doing heavy weightlifting. It could be doing a Pilates class or a yoga class, or let me see, what else is there?
How about running around in the yard with your kids?
Right?
Playing with them.
You're right.
connecting with them or
Yeah.
your loved one or whatever, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, going out and just running around and playing.
Have
Um,
sex.
have sex.
Have
Wow, why
sex.
would you want
If
to do
it,
that?
and like what is light? What makes you go, oh yeah, I would like to do that? And what would make your body go like, oh yes, I would like to do that?
A nooner?
A nooner. I was thinking better than that. A
I don't
nooner.
know. Let's find
Yeah, yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like how many times has your body already been talking to you that you've kind of just put aside because of what you were thinking, of what your judgment was, whether that was positive or negative. No, like, oh no, I'm not doing that. I don't like that. Or no, I'd rather do that because I know
how,
that I like that.
how about this one? I'm going to look like a fool doing that. I'm
Oh,
not going to get out and dance. I'm going to look stupid because I don't know how to dance. Or
really?
you know what? I'm not going to go play that game because I'm going to look stupid. And adults don't do that. Wow. Where did we get to that point? You know, I had an interesting experience the other night, Merlin, and I'll share this with you and everybody else. But I've been creating something new, and I'm not going to really tell exactly what it is yet. But it's a different way of creating a class. I'm kind of tired of the whole boot camp idea, and all that, and I want to experiment and see what happens if we just get out and start playing again. So I put together, had to go and create, all of these games and stuff like that, and shoot video and pictures for it, so I can create this idea, share it online or wherever I'm going to do with it. And so I took the other four adults, and I had 15 games like we used to play as we were kids, in like either field day or whatever else we were doing. And I had these adults doing it and everything, and the look on their faces was priceless. And to see all of us out there just playing with no other intention, just but to play. It's not about the exercise. It wasn't about the weight that we were losing, how many reps we were doing, or anything like that. We were just playing games. So, I mean, I had sacks out there. We were doing sack races. We were wheelbarrow races, three-legged races, and all sorts of stuff like that, like we did when we were kids. Or sometimes, very rarely, we might do at a picnic or something like that. But what if we, I wanted to see, well, what would happen? I mean, if I did this, and it was so much fun. Wow, you know what? This is going to be a really cool thing when I get this all put together and launch it. But watching the smiles and the giggles and everything else that was happening because they were doing this, and even if they weren't doing it well, they were failing at it. They were falling on the ground, just busting up, laughing and having a good time. They were sucking wind, breathing heavily, and their heart rate was up, and they were having fun. They didn't even know they were exercising. So what would it be like to find that in your daily activity? Something that just brought you so much bliss you didn't even realize you were tagging your cardiovascular system, you were burning calories, you were getting fit. Instead of looking at it from the standpoint of like, well, we got to put in the work, we got to do a workout, we got to, wow, that became something very heavy to me recently when I started thinking about it, and I tapped into the energy of it, and how many other people were walking away from the idea of it because it was a workout, not a play, not having fun. So what does that look like to you guys? I mean, what does play look like to you? Do that.
Yeah,
That thought that just popped into your head before you had a chance to judge it.
yeah, yeah. What if you were to create with that? And with create, I mean, basically, if you're being with that, is there anything you cannot do? Is there anything you could not explore, be curious about? And what if you were, to ask yourself, okay, what would be blissful for me today? Am I still here?
I am. Are you?
I don't know, like my screen is going in and out. On, off, on, off. Still a lot of letting. Calm down on the energy, guys. I know you're excited. No.
Well, I did just put up that picture of Buddy Jesus. Maybe that's what's going on here.
Oh, did you? So irreverent of you. Let me see. How about strip twister?
What? Strip twister?
Strip twister. You know
Do it.
Twister, where you have this is Elisa skyping me. Thank you, Elisa. Awesome balls.
You gonna video it, Elisa?
Sorry.
Videotape it and share it.
Oh,
Twister.
how about it, Elisa? Well, it's just a message. It's just a message. Yeah. What is fun to play? And how about I pull in some, because I asked this question, what does bliss mean to you? And I got some cool responses actually that I would like to kind of like bring out here. Ivana said lightness, expansion, so not expand. Oh no, that's the same in English. Expansion, ease, joy, all of that experienced in the body, and expanding out what we did earlier, reaching far away from who I really no, reaching far and wide and even transforming realities kind of sensation. So there was a sensation she described. Ponder the energy of that. Then I have Lisa saying being with a heart. And then I have, yeah, being. It's looking better than that. And then we have Minette, having my reality be filled with gratitude, joy, and contribution. And more laughter, more hugs, more smiles. Yes, more please. Going to create this in my space today. So thank you for all of that, and thank you for asking that question to yourself, maybe. What does bliss mean to me? Because if things mean to you, like the way I put it is kind of like a tricky way, actually. You could ask, what is bliss for me? Or what would be blissful for me? Why I ask for the meaning is that, you know, you get to see the points of view that people have. So you can get clear on what it currently is for them, so that when they would like to shift or have more of what would be truly blissful for them, just be aware of what definition you have put on bliss for you, that you cannot have it, for instance, or that it's only for other people. It's like, what if you were, like, you know, if that is your point of view and you would like to change it, what if you were to take a different point of view about it? And so what inspired point of view could you have or take around bliss, blissful embodiment? What other you go ahead.
What if bliss is something different every day for you, every moment for you? What if it is being in the moment, being the co-creator of your moment, every moment? And that's blissfulness. When we're stepped out of the moment and we've gone to the past, to either lament something that we did or didn't do, or miss something that we had in the past that we don't have now. We're projecting the future, the fears and the worries that we have about, how am I going to make this happen and all that. When we pull ourselves out of the moment, is that blissful? Is that disembodiment, that I brought up earlier? We're not in the moment, we're not in our bodies. And is that creating that disconnect and the inability to really feel and hear the awarenesses that are coming to you from your body, telling you about, hey, this is going on right now? So if we plugged into that and engaged into and be, I love that being thing, embodiment, being, bliss and embodiment. Yeah.
Yeah, that brings up a really interesting thing for me, because when I remember, some of you might recognize that, but what I'm gonna say, but have not maybe put the words to it that I have. Well, when I was a kid, um, I kind of used to not be present a lot of times, or I would be, kind of like wandering off, dreaming away. And
You were alone with that, weren't you? You were the only one that did
I'm
that.
sure I'm the only one that did that, because who actually enjoys the insanity of a lot of things, including school? But I'm pretty irreverent about that, sorry. So, no offense to no one or anything. It's just, was not my specific kind of taste. But anyway, so if you're
You know what,
not,
Merlin, I heard so much when no, I heard an awful
what,
lot when I was a
what?
kid. Well, hey, Mr. Dyer, would you like to join us in class here today?
Oh, really? Huh? Awesome. Yeah. So when I would not be present, like either the teacher or the person I was with, whether it was my parents or whoever, would just be like, "Hey, come back," And what I realized then, I was present again. And what I noticed with the work that I've been doing over the last couple of years, if you see your body as your body and you as you, the being, then like would you have choice to be either present in your body? It's like what do you do at night? Do you stay in your body? Do you kind of wander around? Possibilities, right? So it's like when people are not really present, most of the time they're not really being embodied, right? How many people do you see walking on the street that kind of drag their feet across the floor to get forward? Are they fully embodied in their body, energetically and psychologically? And when I started to become aware of how many times I was actually out of my body, it was like maybe 90%, because I just didn't want to really be here. I didn't enjoy going to school. This reality was giving me a hard time, was my point of view. And when I got to shift all of that, and it's like, oh, where am I being actually? Oh, I was like just hovering right there, whoop, back into the body, back into, kind of like feeling my butt on the chair, feeling my feet or perceiving my feet all the way down to the tippy toes. And like then I was like, oh, I'm actually more present, and my body is actually happier. And that was my experience, because it was like, what would you kind of like do if you would have a play body that is not even willing to be there and play with you and be blissful with you, be kind with you and to you? So yeah, a lot of things have been shifting as well. Well, this goes on for a lot of people. I have noticed that they're not being present. And what if you were to catch yourself, like, hey, I'm wandering off? It's like, it can be that you're bored. Okay, cool, fine. What else can I choose? How about I go into my body and actually kind of like increase that space from there, reach out to all the bliss and connect with it and kind of suck it in and see what generative um, energies and intention you can create from there. So being present, in this reality as well has a lot to do with embodiment, because it's your body through which you embody this reality. That's why if you're having like financial like troubles as well, or your challenges or whatsoever, you might want to have a look at this, because how much more blissful would your financial situation be if you would actually embody more, if you would be more present with your body? Because is it your psyche, your being, or your body that requires the money to live, to pay rent, to buy groceries, to make a living, right?
Hmm.
Does your being require that, or your body? So what if you were to be more present with your body, be embodied, and what if it could be way more blissful than you ever imagined possible? Would you be willing to receive that, to be that, to know whatever you already know about that. Because we know so much. It's just we're told not to know. We're being told what's right and wrong. You can't just know, right? What if you know what blissful embodiment for you could be like?
You know, I was thinking about this statement this morning that most of us have probably heard most of our lives is do what you love to do and the money will follow. And how many of us actually do that in practice? I mean, we tend to find jobs that we don't really like to do so we can make a paycheck, and we discount what it is that we would really love to be doing, what's blissful for us. We set that aside once again, you know, as a reward, you know, now instead of the way of living, of our lifestyle. And so instead of a lifestyle of bliss, we have bliss as a reward for working hard. And I find that, at least for me, to be a very heavy mode anymore, and one that I've stepped out of, and really, you know, as I step into practicing more of, and just being more of who I be in a given moment, I am finding more bliss. And it's interesting, in the moments that I choose to do that, those are the moments I tend to find that more people show up that want to pay me to show them what I do, and you know, and to help them and guide them. So, what if you followed that edict, that whole idea of do what you love to do, and the money will follow, instead of worrying about? I mean, because I think we just come right out of the chute and go, I got to make all this money and pack it all up so that I can do what I want to do. That's insane, man. That's insane. How did we get here?
What do you want to choose?
Right.
What do you want to create?
Right.
Like how many? Like I just wondered, Greg. It's like, what would happen if we would use the word bliss and blissful with everything we do and say? What would it? And if not, if you don't want to use the word, the energy, the intention behind it. Like,
sure.
What if you were to play with that? How can I have blissful? What would it take to have blissful or bliss with this and that and so and so? What would it be like if, here, all questions, you notice? What would it be like to have a blissful relationship with this person? Whoever that is.
What would it?
Yeah.
How about the relationship with yourself? What would it be like to be blissful with that? And where would that radiate to? If you are blissful in the communion with yourself, with your body, what does that now do for your relationships with everything else and everybody else? I mean, are they going to meet you on your level because you're there? Or are they going to continue searching around trying to find out who you are because you're not being?
I have another question, hey.
Okay.
Were you still rolling?
Are we still rolling?
No. Well, we are still rolling. We still have viewers, yeah. So how's it get better than that?
Up here.
Sorry? It was getting quiet. Welcome to Country's Body Movement. No, just kidding. So, here's Chelsea.
We're cute.
What?
I say we're cute, but not that bright.
I know. So here, this is an interesting question. If you guys can still hear me, hopefully. So when I'm traveling, I find ease with eating, stress, weight loss, and my acne on my body disappears. Friends are met with more ease, and romantic relationships as well. Even my hair is happier. When I arrive back to Canada, my acne returns, my hair isn't as healthy, and I start to gain weight, and my friendships and relationships are at at home are heavy. There's so much heaviness. What is this heaviness at home? So what do I do to be that consciousness wherever I am, even at home? And how do I and my body be bliss, joy, and ease in Canada? Anything coming up for you, Greg?
I have two questions that pop for me. One, the first one was like, what are the expectations at home? And two, who does that energy belong to? Is that yours? Is it up all for you? I mean, ask the right question first. Find out, let's see if it's yours or if it's somebody else's. Because if you're going out and traveling abroad and you're having a great time and ease and all that stuff, which brings up a whole other question. Maybe go travel more.
Would you like to travel more?
Right.
Yeah, and it says, well, are you aware? And this was question was sent by Chelsea, by the way. So Chelsea, like, are you aware of any past or family or home reference points that you might have, included in your reality somehow that can get activated when you go there? Our question two would be, the same thing. Are you just being aware of the surroundings? Are you aware of the people that you have kind of like connection points to? Can you guys still hear me?
Mm-hmm. I can.
Okay, great. That you have connection points to, that you kind of energetically connected with, like really intensely. Do you? How about you would, kind of like clear those relationships up? And I don't mean, get rid of them, but just take the charge of that. And there's more tools for that. I'm sure you know how to use.
Hey Merlin, let's give one of those. Let's do the destroy and uncreate real
Cool.
quick for not only just for Lucy, but for anybody else that might be listening to this that doesn't have that tool.
Ah, okay, cool, nice. Shall I go ahead and explain, or would you like? Yeah?
You do a great job of explaining these tools.
Awesome. So there is this tool, and I have to credit Access Consciousness for that, and Gary Douglas, the founder, who designed it, or who actually created it. So it's called Destroy and Uncreate. And what is that? Well, if you have a point of view about something, or something feels heavy and something feels not entirely light, or you feel stuck or whatever, there are certain energies, there might be certain energies connected to that are, either old energies, or they might not even belong to you, but they're there, right? They're heavy. So they kind of like don't really feel that great. So you might not even know cognitively what that is, but in order to change it, to change how it feels, to change the energy, to change the energetic intention behind that, what you can do is say to yourself or out loud, okay, everything this is, this energy, am I still here? Can you just say something?
Yep.
Cool. Everything this is, I now destroy and uncreate it all. And then you can say POC and POD. That stands for point of creation and point of destruction. Basically, you're asking the energy to go back to wherever it got created, wherever, maybe not even this lifetime, who knows, and undo everything you've done to destroy yourself with it. And that might sound really rigorous. And what if you're just clearing the energy of whatever that is? So yeah, then Chelsea, what if you were to look at what fixed energies and points of view you might still have about what is creating that you and your body are not really feeling that great at home. And just start uncreating and destroying all of those. Yeah, uncreate and destroy is a very, very, very powerful tool, because here as well, what if words are not even our first language, but are not, but our second language, or other languages? What if energy is the first language? If you look at animals, do they use words? But do they talk to you? Do they communicate with you? Does nature use words, or does it kind of like respond to you, and do you respond to it? Right? So what if it's the same as our bodies talking and communicating with each other and with you, right? So what if, wait, where was I going? Help. Help.
I have I was gonna add something to this.
Oh,
There's
there we
another
go.
way. Huh?
I know it. Just let me know when you're. Say what you want to say.
Oh, did you figure out where you were going?
Yeah. I was, like basically how we use words as a way to formulate the energy that we're looking for. So if you would say, for example, if you feel tired, you might be picking up somebody else's tiredness. Who knows? If you say, I feel tired, or I am tired, what are you going to create?
Tired.
Yeah? Yeah, exactly. So what if you were...
more time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A great possibility for more tiredness. So here, that's kind of like the power of words to formulate the energy you would like to create or, change. So if you use uncreate and destroy this energy, fucking pot, then what's able to shift, right? So I just wanted to point out that this tool can be really powerful if you just use it. You can as well say, oh, everything this energy, this wonky feeling, this kind of pain in my back, this kind of like buzz in my knee that's not really feeling that great, puck and pot it, destroy and uncreate it, and perceive how it kind of shifts. Because your body has almost no point of view. It would like to, kind of feel lighter and be lighter. Yeah. So it will shift if you will allow yourself to, get into your crazy mind and just start destroying and uncreating the limitations. You can't really destroy and uncreate anything that you are. All you can do is uncreate and destroy the limitations we have put upon ourselves, and that we have let put upon ourselves and our body by this reality. So yeah, and you might want to, kind of rewind and listen to this again if you want to use it, because it's a really cool tool. You can read more about it online as well. The clearing statement. Yeah, Greg, what do you want to say, brother? We have like 6 minutes left.
Yeah, I know.
You guys have any questions? Last burning questions? Just pop them into the chat screen, guys, if you would like.
Well, one of the things I wanted to add that I use every day pretty much with this destroy and uncreate tool is I'll get up, I'll do my expansion exercise and all that, and then I'll destroy and uncreate my relationships. People, with my business, whatever, myself, anything that pops, I'll just destroy and uncreate the relationship with it and start fresh with a new one every day. So, I mean,
wow.
It's an interesting thing that kind of almost resets all of that, and so you don't carry the judgments and expectations of the previous day into the the new relationship for that day, because we can create from the moment anything that we would like to create. It doesn't have to be dependent upon what we've done in the past. So it's kind of neat to clear that energy out, and it's created some interesting things for me as well. But it's it's also really the relationships that have come to I'll stop short of like saying have meaning to me, but the ones that I really enjoy having around, it's shifted them
Mm,
into becoming things that they may not have become because I held on to whatever we did yesterday or the day
yeah,
before, or the year before, or whatever. So
yeah, awesome tool. I have a little example about that. Shall I just pop it in real quick?
go ahead. What we get to 5 minutes or whatever. So
Yeah, 5 minutes. It's really short. When I got handed this tool, destroying and uncreating energies, I was like, what the heck do I do with that? And then I heard about this destroy and uncreate your relationships, and I was like, huh, because I'm having some wonky time at work, for instance, with my supervisor and other people around. It was just like you might know as well. It's like when people just kind of buzz at you, or they're heavy in their energy, like the energy is thick. And if you have like two buzzing energies, what do? They kind of like they kind of collide. So what I started doing, so everything I decided about this person, all that energy, and it would come up. It comes up instantaneously if you ask for it. Everything I've decided, judged, or concluded about this person, I destroy and create it all. I let it go. Done with that shit. Park and pod. And what happens? You kind of neutralize. You kind of like just wipe away and clean that energy. And what happens when you interact with them again? You have a completely different conversation. The energy has shifted. So I started doing this with everyone at work, and people would just kind of like almost fall into me like, huh? What's up with you? You look different. And I was like, this is funny. This kind of works. So I started doing it with everyone and anything that I had a charge on, so I could be free and have more bliss, right? Because work became a lot easier ever since I started doing that. Because it's our own judgments or the things we create as judgments that drive us crazy. And what if we were to go beyond that insanity and get into the space of freedom, peace, and bliss, and action wherever we would like that.
mm.
So whatever you do, don't use that tool because it won't work for you. And that was a
All
joke.
right. Hey, you sent me a couple questions. I was kind of wondering, you want to get to this last one? Is this last one you sent me?
Awesome. Yeah.
I don't know who sent this.
I know that. Let me look that out for you. It was Anneke.
Oh, okay. I need more trust in the process. I always think that I have no time. My thoughts are what keep me from who I really am and all the things that I can be. My question: how do I change all of this?
Wow. Great question.
Hey, we
How?
can. Hey, we got like 2 minutes that are left, but we can extend this thing, can't we? I mean, it's not
Yeah,
no.
yeah, we
Yeah.
can. We
Let's
can. And
let's
if you
let's
guys
do
gotta
this
go,
and then
just go.
close up after this. What do you think?
Yeah,
Let-
well, let's go for it.
Let's explore this one, then we'll finish up when we get done with this one.
Yes, totally.
Um,
So,
if I were to look at that, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind, who do those thoughts belong to? The thoughts that are keeping you from being who you be.
and what if you were to, there might be some things, some judgments, some points of view lingering around in your universe that you might have created along the way because you either picked them up from somebody else and thought they were yours. Um, and oh, the things we do to ourselves. What if you were to destroy, like start kind of asking, like, what is not, what is this? What is really going on here? And just destroy and uncreate it all. and things might come up clearer. Because how this thing works, like if you have like a whole like bunch of undefined dirt, what if you have like a really like things like it's almost like a snowball, right? Things build up all the time. It's like if you notice, it's just like, oh, destroy and create all this, fucking pot it. Oh, destroy and create all this, fucking pot it. Oh, destroy and create all this, fucking pot it. Just clear it a couple of times so you kind of like get that layers of shit out of the way, so you can actually start to get to the greatness of you without having all those black veils draping over it. And as well, it's like, what questions could you ask to open up to more bliss for you? And what you could as well do, what if you decided about what the process is? Have you already laid it out for you? Have you already created something in the future? How about you just try and create all this and fucking pot it? Cool. That might change something for you. And as well, there's this concept of time. What if, it's funny, because she says, I always think that I have no time. What if you were to, this might sound funny, but ask yourself, how much space can I be to be the greatness I truly be? And here we go. Basically, it's kind of like what we're all aiming for, but people call it truth, people call it wisdom, people call it love. It's like, what energy, what space, and what consciousness can me and my body be to be the space, amazingness, and greatness, and blissfulness, and bliss I truly be. And everything it doesn't allow that energy, destroy and uncreate it all. Pock and pot.
You know, one of the other questions that popped up was when I think about the whole statement she made of my thoughts are keeping me from being who I am. In all honesty, would your thoughts ever actually keep you from being who you are or who you be? I mean, in honesty, I mean, and to me, that for whatever reason, that statement stuck out in the whole question that she sent. The energy on that is just, for me, is just saying that doesn't belong to her. Whether she's adopted it hers as her point of view or not, those thoughts, they are not from her. She's picked them up from somewhere else. And so many of us are running around like that, you know, with thoughts in our head that we think that belong to us about how, you know, how we should handle things, how we should be, the jobs we should have, clothes we should wear, where we should live, the car we drive, the person that we should be with, and all this other stuff. And it's like,
yada yada yada.
What's in your being? I mean, what's the energy in you? Is it the thing that I've been exploring? And
I love that. You just did that. What's the energy over you? You hang out with me too much.
Huh?
You hang out with me too much.
Well, the thing is, we've been doing the radio show, so you never really see what I do with my hands.
Oh, you're doing the wiggly thing. Oh my God. Wizards at work. Sorry.
So, so the thought that pops in my head about this is this point where we have pulled away from our bliss, what we would like to be doing, the things that bring us bliss, in favor for the things that we're supposed to do because that's how we fit into the society, that's how we're supposed to look. These are the things we're supposed to do in order to be a contributing member to society or whatever other bullshit that we're buying. Is this the point where we begin to create the dis-ease, the discomfort? Is this the point where we start to find the possibilities to show up to support those ideas, and then now we are choosing foods that we normally wouldn't choose the foods that are going to contribute to the idea of Well, we feel heavy. Well, let's be heavy. Um, what if we just stepped into being who we be?
And how blissful would that
Unapologetically.
be?
Unapologetically. Just who you be. Unafraid, unconcerned, and willing to step into that, willing to be the odd man out. It was funny. I went through the. I'll make this really quick. I went through this thing a few months ago. It was called the Unwedding, and I did it with a friend of mine. And she was getting a divorce, and I was getting a divorce, and not from each other, but from our own former partners. And we had a whole little ceremony about this thing. Got unwed, and our unminister said something to me that was amazing. He said, "Greg, we need leaders. Are you willing to lead even if nobody else follows?" And I ask that of every one of you, anybody that's listening to this, watching this, are you willing to lead even if nobody else follows? Are you willing to do your thing even if nobody else is going to do it with you? That's the contribution that you're going to be to us, to this. What if that's the contribution that's going to create this reality here in this world, in this life? That's what we're waiting for you to be unafraid of being who you be.
How does it get better than that? Positive. Cool. So, yeah. Wonderful. So, how about, is there anything else? Oh, there is so much more, isn't there? So,
hey, how do we get a hold of you, Merlin?
How do we get a hold of me? Well,
what if we want to talk to you? What if we want to see what you're about?
Yeah, cool. If you're on Facebook, or just add me at Facebook. I'll put my name in the description, or our names are in the description below, or my website as well, handsonaccess.nl. Merlijn Wolsink soon coming up, still in progress and creation. And how did we get a hold of you, Greg?
Well, I put my email address in there, which is a good thing. Facebook one, Greg Dyer. And of course, the Conscious Body Movement page. You can get a hold of both of us on that if you want to.
Yes.
Ask questions. We can answer from there. My birthday suit tailor web page is actually being reconstructed right now, so it is down.
Awesome.
I'll have it back.
Oh, there's my email. Look at that. Yeah, and you are so welcome to listen to our weekly radio show on Blog Talk Radio. It's every Tuesday on European time zone. That is 8:30 in the evening, and where you are, Greg, that is, help me out.
It's 12:30 Mountain Daylight Time here in the U.S.
And so that is 2:30 New York, and
right.
Who knows what all the other time zones are? Those all you can all find on the Conscious Body Movement Facebook page and Blog Talk Radio. That's basically blogtalkradio.com/Conscious Body Movement or facebook.com/Conscious Body Movement. And if you guys have any questions, or if you would like to hear about specific subjects, please let us know. Like, send us either a message through the page, or a comment on one of the clips we post, updates, and we'd love to hear from you, because if we know what contribution we can be, we can actually, can get more concrete for you, and create the possibilities that we all would like. So thank you so much for watching as well to the Hangout. It's been, the energy's eased out a little. Maybe you guys notice how that is. That clearance we just did, like, cleared up like quite a lot of charge. Actually around the whole, and actually my electricity is coping again. That is great, because if there's so much energy buzzing, because you talk about all these things and blah, 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 sometimes you just want to, kind of like clear it so the lightness and the bliss can actually come through to be with and to create from and to have fun with and to be embodied with. Yeah. Do you have any last words or anything you would like to say,
Thank
Mr.
you guys for
Dyer?
joining us today.
Yeah.
Watch out, we'll do some more of these too. So keep tabs on the Conscious Body Movement page. We'll post up and do some more of these hangouts because this was fun.
Yeah. So what would a blissful embodiment be like for you? And everything it doesn't allow it for you to start perceiving, knowing, and being and receiving that, destroy and create it all. Park and pod. Cool. Nice. Thank you. Okay, well,
Thanks,
how does it
Merlijn.
get better than that? Ciao, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
See you guys.
Bye.
Woo.
Woohoo!